probably of everything, including God's books and hypergamy, is so low that it being a coincidence requires more faith and believing in God. This is a very poorly worded argument. I don't know. I think what he's trying to say, it's like, oh, it takes more faith. It's basically this argument from design, basically. There's a ton of these arguments, all of which fail, whether it's the watchmaker argument, whether it's the 747 argument, whether it's the prime mover argument. Logically, every single one of these arguments fail. Like they have over and over, and they've been debunked, but people keep shouting them from the rooftops. And it all leads us back to this road of faith, which we can certainly talk about because that was brought up today in one of our conversations. But I want to, taking kind of a step back, I don't really, so genuinely when I ask somebody, I said this on the show last week, if somebody, I say, what's your reason for having religion or a religious belief? And a lot of people will say, well, because it makes me a better person. And then I say, great, fine. If you need this and otherwise without it, you are incapable of being a good person, then by all means believe, because you're doing everybody a favor. I think most people don't have the agency of being able to make good decisions on their own. Like we've talked about it a lot. Like human beings love a ruler. People love a ruler. People love this because they get to say, well, I don't have to make any decisions morally on my own. I don't have to think in any way about what I do or how I weigh this certain situation or its potential consequences, because I just do what the book tells me, or I just do what this guy tells me. So you're basically passing the buck. You're making it someone else's responsibility.
A lot of guys will say that's the book and I'll do what it tells me to do, but they pick and choose from it like an a la carte menu.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Most of them pick and choose. Like I think
cafeteria Christianity.
Ramadan, it was like a week or two ago, and Andrew Tate was criticized for gambling during like a holy calendar holiday sort of thing. It's like you're not supposed to do that. And it's like, you see all these examples all the time of people saying, oh, well, the book says that, so I'll just do what the book says because I love to be ruled. But it's like you're not following it to a T.
Well, because again, that's where special pleading comes into play, right? So like stuff like this, hold on. Stuff like this. It's like, oh, these are all arguments against something else. This is something different. Like people will make up whatever they need to make up to have the narrative fit along their narrative. But to go along to my point, it's okay. If somebody says, I say, why do you believe what you believe? And they say, because I believe that it is true. And normally I say, how did you come to that conclusion? And most times it will be because I was born that way, or I was raised that way, or my parents raised me this way and that way.
They're told that way, yeah.
Because they're told that way. So I say, okay, well, do you care if your belief is true or not? Yes. Okay, great. So let's assume that you were born in India. You probably would be raised by Hindu parents. You probably would be raised believing in Vishnu as your God. So let's say you've got somebody that's over in India and they're raised Hindu and they believe in Vishnu as the one true God, and you believe in Jesus Christ and Yahweh. How do we go by determining which one of you is correct? How do we find a pathway to truth? And there's very rarely an answer for this. And then you get bullshit. They're like, oh, well, I believe everything. Like whatever you believe is true. It's like nonsense. But the thing I think that drives me the most nuts is the faith argument.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.